Always a learning day in here. Welcome back. It is the Soni Kanake show. I'm here with Maurice, Matheka. We're talking about female orgasms and squirting. So now basically we're talking about this, there's a certain group of men that out there.
Yes.
They're of marriageable age, so to speak.
Yes.
But they're not getting married.
They're never going to get married.
They're never going to get married.
No.
But they still have those casual relationships.
Yes.
What's the story? What's the deal with that?
And you see, casual, the problem is most words that relate to a relationship scenario, if we say casual, casual to some people means a few months, a few weeks, a few days. Casual can be a year. And you see, the thing is this, which is very different when it comes to the male psychology versus the female.
Yes, yes.
A man can have a casual affair with a woman for a year, whereas some people can say that's not a casual affair, that's a relationship. No, it's not. The casualness comes from this. Casual means it's non-committal, but it causes the man to commit to wanting to be in a space.
In that woman's space?
Yes.
Okay.
Versus, I'm fully, legally committed to a woman where I have a certificate that we belong to each other, but I'm not committed to be in her space.
Hey, Maurice, explain that.
It's as simple as this. One thing I know about the male species is we like peace of mind, and peace of mind comes with, I don't want to feel obligated. I want to do something for you. I can be with a woman.
On your terms.
Yes, I can be, whatever on my terms are. I mean, already women are with committed men who don't pay rent. They don't pay electricity. They go kunyo on school fees. So that commitment is rubbish. Whereas there's a guy who is with you based on the non-obligation, non-committal, but he's always committed to calling you. He is in your space more than your married girlfriends have their husbands in their space. So this commitment, if you ask me, it's about that certificate. It's about ownership. It's about feeling ownership. But the question is, do you own your husband? You don't.
No.
So for me, the guy who's actually committed is the guy who commits because he doesn't have to, is because he wants to.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's a big difference.
Yes.
And that's why a guy can tell you that I'm not ready to have a relationship, but I want to see you every week. But you think that me saying that I am in a relationship with you, that I'm your boyfriend, will now quantify this to be special. It won't. I could easily say you're my girlfriend, but there's another woman I prefer being in a sexual space. Wow. So why not be the woman that I prefer being in your space, because you encompass everything that triggers me to feel like a man. The sex is great, the company is great, the seduction is great, the flirting, you're spontaneous. Hey, from work, let's do this, let's drive here, let's go to this party. Whereas sometimes this official relationship, sometimes it's, I'll give you men's version. I stopped inviting Mama to events because every time I'd invite her for an event, she had other questions that would kill the event. So she's not spontaneous. She's modeled herself as, I'm now the manager of my home, and I want decency, and I want programs, and I want this. Now you become boring, and so does your vagina. So the other woman who is not asking me to be committed to her is the one who's always picking her phone and going like, look at him calling. I know why he's calling. Because I don't trouble him. Because I don't force him to do things. And I don't engineer things to cause him to feel like he has to do them. He does them because he wants to do them. If you're not in that space with a human, you're going to suffer. Guaranteed.
Wow, there's something
how many certificates you have?
Said. I mean, as a woman, you said men want peace.
Yes, that's the first thing.
That's the first thing.
Before vaginas, one piece.
Okay, before the vaginas. But now there's something you say that's quite heavy. You said the woman in the house is putting you under pressure, as opposed.
She's putting me under pressure because she's not allowing me to spell out what I really want.
Let me ask you,
Yes.
in case you say something in case I ask something, is that
Yes.
a bad thing? Because you said she asks you too many questions when you take her out.
Yes, yeah, because you've become more of my mother than my woman. And it's something some women do. Luckily, not all, but there are women who do that.
Okay, is there like an over-questioning kind of a thing, or is there a way I can ask you a question and you don't get pissed off with me?
Well, the over-questioning is based on the context that, the context here is, I would love to be with you in the space. Like, let's say my friends say, hey, we're all going out of town somewhere. And out of town doesn't always have to be sexual. But you are very guarded. Who's coming, where are we going, where are we staying, what are we eating. Yet the plan was, let's just drive towards Kajiado. Kajiado will take care of itself. You, because you've modeled yourself to be that functional woman who wants to pre-plan everything, you've become boring. But the question I can ask if the man coming to complain his wife is boring, I'll ask him, was she always boring from the beginning or has she changed? Now, if he says, no, she used to be spontaneous. She used to be the life of the party. Now, you have a blame.
Me as a woman now.
Yes. But if he says, from the minute I put my eyes on that woman, I realized she was conservative, then that man has nothing to complain about. He is the one who has basically made his bed. Now he has to sleep in it. You can't say a woman was boring, yet you took her for who she is.
And now
You can't suddenly change her into the spontaneous, let's do Kajiado. When you met her, she told you, this is who I am. But the one who showed you that I can dance on tables, when now she wants to wipe them in the house, now that's a problem. And drink tea too much.
I should carry on the dancing on the tables.
Yes, because if you don't, somebody will.
Oh, is that so?
Not so, it will be so.
Wow.
Oh, yes. And you see, if we look at the Kenyan context, thrills are everywhere. Thrills are everywhere. In Kenya, you'll only not get laid, either you're a boring person or you're locked up somewhere. Yeah, but then again, those who are locked up are also finding ways to get laid. But my point is, you're either going to be the person who stays in the house to bitch about how life is bad, or you're going to be out there having a bit of fun. And you can blend the two. But now your other struggle as women is, if you are not with a very modern guy, modern in regards to, no, me and my mama, whether married or not, we do our stuff, man. We still party with our friends. If you're with a traditional Kenyan man who was, a bit funky when you're dating, but then has changed because you're married, now that's another problem.
Wow. Okay, before we get to orgasms, before we get actually to squirting, let's first talk about the X factor.
Yes.
We had an interesting conversation here during the break, and you guys were like, you'd fear the X more than you'd fear any future person.
And what I was saying is, in the context of men having insecurities, because women have, but now I talk about the men. Men have insecurities about the unknown. Who she is, who's that guy, blah, blah, blah. You find a guy talking to his woman, but he's pressing the phone so that he can hear if there's any male voices in the background. And I'm thinking to men, that is useless insecurity. The guy you should be insecure about is the guy who knows her. The guy who used to wrap her hair and go like, here's daddy, and spank her. He knows her inside out. Literally. How come we're not afraid of that guy?
Tell me about
They could have made a pact that, hey, if you marry Maurice and he's not doing you properly, so you holla.
Wow.
Just send the pin and we meet, we do our deeds, and you go back to your Maurice. If they made that pact, I cannot control it. I can't. And anyone who's a man who cannot see that is an idiot. That's fact. We can't control one another. Those are the guys we should be afraid of. But if you're not afraid of those guys because they are of no risk, why are you afraid of the unknown? Why are you afraid of the guy who buys her a drink? He bought her a drink. What's in the drink? A penis. And if it can fit in the drink, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Maurice.
Just this unknown insecurity needs to end. You need to understand, apart from the sexual thing, I'm also booked by couples who just want to learn how to communicate, especially when they're in the social arena. And what they're saying is, 8 out of 10 times we go out, we argue. And we argue over the same things. Some chick came and hugged him in a funny way. I don't know, maybe she had 12 arms. I don't understand. I've never understood what that means.
What funny means?
She hugged him in a funny way. Yeah, or some chick knew my dude and I don't know who she is. Blah, blah, blah. Or vice versa. There's a dude who came and he was this masculine guy and he has a bass. It's your problem. You don't sound like whatever, Barry White. Maybe this guy does. Why are you insecure about that? The guy bought her a drink. The best you can do to another man is tell him, hey, dude, as you buy my woman a drink, can you also buy me a drink, man? You seem to be the guy buying drinks. You have killed that guy's agenda. Instead of entering the car
and now making noise,
shouting at her, and then this guy who's caused this argument, he's going to have sex tonight. Me and you, because we're arguing over the unknown, are not going to have sex tonight. And that guy is probably going to have a sex tonight thinking of your face.
Wow.
He's having a boner because of you. Me, I can't have a boner because my balls have even become smaller because of our arguments.
I know.
What nonsense is that?
I know. Wow. Okay. Let them address their insecurities, I guess.
Yes, I mean.
Let's squat now. Let's talk about squatting.
Let's squat. Do you know for how long I've been waiting for Soni to say that? Let's squat. Soni was squatting. Tell me.
Let's first get to the science behind squatting. Is it like? Of course, you know there are some schools of thought that say it's not squatting, it's peeing, and what. So what's the scientific science behind
this? Let me just tell you something now. When I was a bit of a novice, I used to worry about such people. Today I don't. You see, when and this is not to, it's not an attack on gynecologists, because our friends who are gynecologists, I have gynecologists who refer their clients to me, but there's some who just give misinformation. It's sad when a woman comes to tell me, my gyna told me I come from the wrong tribe. That's why I can't have an orgasm. My gyna told me there's a way my vagina is, that's why I can't have an orgasm. I wasn't born to have an orgasm. There's even an guy, he said, don't go to Matheka, he's a devil.
Oh, okay.
And where did she go? She went to the devil. And today she
Did
can have orgasms and she can squat.
Oh, the devil helped, yeah?
Yes. So why can't you just say you don't know? But go to those who know and you get help.
True.
It's like when somebody needs attention to do with psychiatry, I don't pretend to be a psychiatrist. So I refer them. If they come with mental health, I have friends in that sector, I refer them. Now when I become the jack of all trades, we start failing.
True.
I'm not a mechanic. If I go anywhere near your car, it might squat, which is probably not what you wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So I leave that to
you're a vagina mechanic.
Exactly.
Maurice.
There you go. I'm not an engine whisperer, just vagina. So everybody stay in their lane.
True.
Orgasms and squirting. Let's even talk about just your mere orgasm. Like we said many a times, most women will never have an orgasm. Those who can or those who have experience need their vagina to own. It comes from their vagina. There's a reason why men are seeking the vagina. And it's not bought at a supermarket. It's placed on a woman. So that vagina is supposed to have an orgasm. The one thing most men are sure of is their orgasm, not the woman's. So for the woman to be able to orgasm, so that she stops also having insecurities. Like I get so many clients who tell me during the session, I'm actually here because there's a dude who told me, why don't you squat? I've been with a woman who squats. And because she doesn't want to be left out, that's the reason why she's booked the session. And for me, that's not the reason. It should be a reason of, I've just realized that if I own this ability, I'll enjoy my sexuality with whoever I'm having it with.
Oh, let me ask at this point. So that means if I own this ability, I can squat with anybody. It doesn't matter how I connect. Does it? As a woman, you talked about, hang on. You talked about the psychology of a female and male is different.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how you and I connect as a woman.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
I like giving examples, that way you'll understand. When you have a woman tell you, since our session, obviously I've been having sex with my husband, but I have literally counted how many times I've squirted with him. Like it's been twice. And this is in a span of 6 months.
Okay.
But because she has another dude on the side, every time she's with this other dude, they drench the bed. Like they literally have to overturn the mattress so that they can sleep. Now she asked me to explain that.
Exactly. How do you explain that?
You explain that simply by, I have a feeling, because I'm not there, I can't give 100%, that would be lying. But based on experience, I have a feeling the sex between you and your husband is mechanical, it's obligational, it's not based on seduction. I have to ask her, when you are meeting this other guy, tell me the things that happen to your body. Oh, Matheka, I'm so horny, my nipples, my vagina, this tweaks, this twice. Now, does that happen at home? No, it doesn't.
So why does it happen at home?
It's not happening at home as simple as this. If I give you a very nice tasting ice cream, yet you've tasted many ice creams, and you're like, wow, that ice cream that you gave me, please give me the details of where I can be getting it. Versus, you know so many places you can buy ice cream. That other guy is ice cream. What she's getting at home is stale yogurt. It's not me saying the husband is bad. It's the connection between the two cannot manifest the kind of sex or the kind of bodily condition that allows for them to drench the bed. It's very mechanical. It's very, we have learned that we have to give each other sex because we owe our sex. We owe each other sex. Whereas when you're with somebody else, there's an intent. And that intent starts with all the flirting when I'm with you, the things I'm going to do. And that's why I always tell couples, if I go through the WhatsApp of you and your partner versus the WhatsApp of maybe somebody else who's DMing you, I have a feeling the guy DMing you will even turn me on because the stories will align with things that I read that turn me on. Whereas with you and your husband, it's about, mother called, bought, did this, the cleaners, office, did you pick up the kids? I'm like, I'm not surprised that your bed is pretty dry. Your vagina can't respond to this and his penis can't respond to this. But if they change, because I've had couples who are officially married, change their demeanor and everything, now they're drenching. Now they actually have a Macintosh on their bed to soak up the squirt. Why? Because the energies have changed. If one energy is very low and based on obligation, all that drenching of the mattress is not going to work.
So you switch from the mechanical
and
now?
Nothing to do with love. Because she doesn't love that other guy.
It's just because the other one was mechanical.
This one's mechanical. The one she says, I love him, full stop. Then mechanical sex come in. Then obviously the sex is going to be dry. It's going to be stale. Whereas with the other guy, there's all this seductive stuff. Even men tell me that at home, I struggle. But when I'm outside, I don't. Because of the ingredients are different. At home, it's I must. There is I want. Two different things.
Well, let me ask you, Maurice. Let's first get back home. So why is it I must at home, or why is it kind of boring at home and not boring out there?
Mainly because we don't allow ourselves to still flirt and be seductive and playful when we enter into what I would call serious relationships. That's the problem. So, we need to change that first so that everything else works. And then now when you throw in kids, and this no one has control over, I've met men who have told me the minute my wife gave birth, things changed sexually. Like her titties belong to our kids. Now once a man classifies that, unless he declassifies it, you can't change that attitude. Like I've met women who've told me, like, I've never seen my husband's penis. Like never. They've been together for 18 years.
Wow.
Never she's even felt it and had glimpse, but she's never seen it. And then she breaks down why. Because there's a sequence to their having sex. They enter the bed with the lights off, and he comes in with the boxers. And then he removes the boxers so that they can have sex. You see how mechanical this thing is already. Then, in my head, I'm thinking, he still remembers where the boxers are.
So
So he must remove them,
everywhere.
then he puts them somewhere. Because you know, when you're really removing clothes in a seductive area, even your panties, they find themselves underneath the bed or somewhere, or your boxers ends up in the fridge. You know, things that work out. But now this guy, he finishes his deed. He takes the boxers in the duvet, puts them on, and all she sees is the back end of him as he goes to freshen up. Then he comes back with a new pair of boxers and he sleeps. So she's never actually seen his penis in 18 years.
Whoa. Okay.
Those exist. And they are not the minority.
That's the majority.
Yes.
Wow.
Fact.
Okay, so her issue was what? She wanted to resolve this.
She wanted to resolve this. Like this became mechanical. She couldn't even get wet. Yes. And for her, sustaining being outside was not her thing. So she wanted this repaired.
Well, hope they repaired. They were able to repair, I hope.
They got somewhere that could manage them, but there are a few other attributes that could not change about the dynamic. You see, therapy is not about fixing things. It's first profiling whether they're fixable. Let's start there. Whenever I'm mentoring a couple, I have to find out if there's a way forward. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not.
Wow.
It's not super glue.
Okay, let's get back to squatting. You were
Yes.
telling us, you're in the middle of telling us what squatting is, and it's the science behind the squatting.
Yes. So when a woman's vagina is conditioned, then she's able to have those spasms that cause her to have an orgasm that triggers the urethra to squirt out. What we see as squirt, which is the water that comes out. And that's now how a woman begins to own her ability to orgasm. But it is a teaching. There's a reason why now it's just small pockets. There's a reason why in Africa, before we took on the modern age of civilization, our tribes used to have sessions. It was part of our culture. Sexuality was not the way it's deemed today. It's demonized, it's bad, it's this, blah, blah, blah. It should be under the veil of this and that. It was just something that was taught. We were not embarrassed about it. So you'd find it was more construct than today, because today people have to pretend to be somebody else that they're not. Then they enjoy their thrills out there. Yet, in our societies, it was in the Burma. People represented who we were. Now we only practice like what, 1 or 2% of that. And that's just sad. So as long as a woman owns her ability to orgasm, squirting is the next level. Not every woman needs to. But the thing is this, because we're evolving, I meet plenty of guys today who know about it. So they're asking a woman, why aren't you squirting?
True.
Now, you can easily tell him, if is all you want from me squirting, which is a stupid question, and all you've told that guy is, I'm not going to squirt, go find another. Because you cannot place a human with that question, because what you're telling me is I have to choose. I'm sorry, but part of my sexuality is I want to see a woman squirting. If you're not squirting, somebody will. Back to that ice cream that you really liked. Can you imagine if a man you're living with one day tells you, Sonia, I know you like ice cream, but from today I forbid ice cream in this home. Sonia, are you telling me you won't be going to some ice cream parlor, enjoying your bucket of ice cream and wiping and cleaning your mouth? So by the time you get home,
nothing happened.
Yes, and the same applies to everything in life. If you deny somebody something uniquely they love and it makes them happy, they'll find it somewhere else. That's just that.
So how easy is it to squat for?
Easy is the wrong word. If you learn, then it becomes something natural. It becomes second nature. It's not about easy. There's nothing easy in life, but you can learn how to make it easier. Yeah, so it's not about easy.
Now, let me ask you a question. Someone asked me.
Yes.
They told me the squat. She's a squatter. So she tells me she squats too much. It's actually messy. She doesn't even like it anymore.
Yes.
Let me ask. Is there a way that you can like? Is it like suppress the squatting? Is there such a thing? Are you able to? Because her question is how can she not keep squatting every time?
Okay. My question is this, and it's based on what I was saying. She was probably in a place where she was not taught, and it started happening. But her mind in regards to the sheets are wet and stuff like that, she still cares about that. Her issue is not the squirting. Her issue is the fact that when she does...
The mess. You told me it's too messy.
Yes, she messes. But to be honest, I've had plenty of those women. Now, if I get to meet her, then I'll be able to show her why it's not messy. It's not suppressing. I don't do suppression. Never will and never will start.
So you'd advise her to keep squatting?
Well, I'll advise her, but she'll still hate it. See, the thing is, based on the profile you've given me, I don't want her to get to a point where she starts hating even the sex because of... She needs to be in a place where she can embrace how she squirts. And if the environment is different, you see, she's messing sheets. What if the sheets don't need to be messed, but you can still squirt and enjoy your sexuality? Then you're giving somebody another way of thinking about it. Right now it's about her sheets. But if you take away the problem of the sheets, you take away the duvet, and you apply something that soaks in all the squirt that you can just fold and wash later, but your bed is dry, you'll have solved that problem.
I feel like in my line of duty, I interview very many women and I come across very many women.
Yes.
Now, there's a time I was interviewing women who have undergone FGM.
Yes.
And one particular woman I remember very well told me her husband actually left her because she was like a log in the bed. What she told me, she had no feelings, nothing was going on down there.
Right.
So I'm wondering, is there like hope for women who have gone through FGM?
Yes, there is. I've got plenty of women who have undergone FGM over the years, and some will have one session. For the majority, will have at least 2-3 sessions. And after that, she's able to do everything that a woman who has not undergone FGM has had. But you see, there's a psychological element to this, whereas a woman, it depends on what stage, because there are women who the clitoris is cut off, the labia are cut off, part of the majora is kind of like damaged, and then there are those you find just the clitoris was slightly cut, the labia was not tampered with. So it just depends on the particular woman, the procedure. But all of them have this idea that they're less of a woman. So it's my job to prove to them that you're not. You may not have a clitoris or your labia were cut off, but I will show you how to become that sexual goddess that you need to be. And the first thing that happens is, once she realizes that she can actually achieve an orgasm, she's like, oh my God, you know, some even cry, which means I've taken her from somewhere where she was lost in this forest to, wow, I'm actually a woman, and you are. Because that's the only part of our body that a procedure was done. Yeah, so after the 1 or 2, 3 sessions, she's good, and she's able...
So physically she's okay, she can achieve orgasm?
Yes. But before I met her, as you said, the husband said, you're boring, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get into the whole, didn't your husband know? Because some do. But with time, the guy just gets bored. Because he's seeing his application has no results. So he looks for somebody else. And the saddest thing is, he may have come from the thought of mine that I married a woman who undergone FGM because she's more manageable. She's more cultured, she's more domesticated, which is crap. Because he's still going to hate that side and go for another woman who has not undergone FGM. So he also does not believe in his own bullshit. Yeah, but once we have those sessions, they're good to go.
So basically, you first begin with the mind shift.
The mind shift, but the mind shift must also have the sexual shift. Otherwise, it's just a story. It's like me trying to convince you you're so pretty and men will love you, yet you've been in relationships where men just taunted you. So I have to give you something tangible for you to go like, wow, now I feel different. If you can't prove that to her, then you've wasted her time.
Okay.
Yes.
Then from there, you teach her to like what, condition her vagina or?
The thing is, FGM does not tamper with your G-spot.
Okay.
So we start there.
Okay.
Once the G-spot is activated, then when she has sexual contact, she'll have an orgasm.
Oh, that's,
But, and these are things that people just don't like discussing, that woman can easily tell me that nothing is happening at home with my husband, but I slept with another man, and what you taught me happened. like I had multiple orgasms, but at home I didn't. The one thing I can't control is the chemistry that you have at home. That's up to you and the person. That's out of my control. It's like if your vagina turns into a Ferrari, I can't determine which driver will be good for it. That's not my job. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's not my job.
But I'm happy at least there's hope because...
No. FGM women have nothing to worry about. If you look at Kenya, FGM women, many of them come from Kitui, Meru, Northeastern, especially women from Northeastern. I think in the last 10 years, I've had like plenty of women from Northeastern. I even have clients who come from Mogadishu, and all of them get to be able to enjoy sex.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
which
nice
they deserve.
Which they deserve. I
Yes,
agree with you.
definitely.
I agree with you. Let's just talk a bit about squirting and
Yes.
just conclude. And
Party shot. It's important that we start enjoying our sexuality. It's important that women learn how to own their sexuality, their orgasm. It's important that we move from the more conservative attitudes in the bedroom and start applying, our kinky side. And if you don't have one, be taught how to have one. The other day, somebody asked me, can somebody be taught how to kiss? And I asked her, why are you asking? I've met this guy, I really like him, but he can't kiss. The thing is this, in Africa, if you tell somebody that somebody will teach you how to kiss, they're like, but kissing is natural. No, your natural is disastrous. Let's just start there. That's what you need to be taught. Whereas in the West, there are classes for everything. There are classes for kissing, there are classes for sex positions. As in, we all know what we were trained to. The cameramen right now, if they told me to do this production and edit and stuff like that, I'm sure I'd fail. But they are professionals at this.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I always say people stay in their lane. However, if I was coached by a camera guy and editing, I think in a few months, I'd be somewhere.
you can master the skill.
You see what I'm saying? Now, that's what I tell people. Everything can be taught if you're willing to say, I don't know, but I'm willing to be taught.
Wow.
We need to suppress our egos and be taught something
And
new.
agree to be taught.
Exactly.
I like
at least
that
when you
conclusion.
turn up fair, they come.
Oh my God, you have it, guys. That's There is Maurice is concluded, it's told us, but I actually agree with that.
Yes.
Everything can be taught. Everything can be learned. But okay, I like that. The guy can't kiss, but he's nice. Okay, it can be learned too.
He can be learned.
Wow.
The guy is cute.
But he can't kiss?
Yes, but his kissing is not cute.
Okay.
He's just leaving his saliva everywhere.
Yuck. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's been real. We'll do this again. And you'll be a certified squatter.
Let's do this again, guys. Until next time, remember to subscribe to the Soni Kanake show. It's been I, Soni Kanake, and Maurice. Having fun as usual and giving you facts and entertainment like we always do. Telling you about sex and sugar-coated truth.
Yes.
On intimacy and
a bit of humor.
relationships.
Laughter is
and,
brilliant.
Actually, laughter is
It's crazy.
it's medicine to the soul. Well, guys,
And to the
this is
vagina.
real. Oh, okay. Bye-bye.